Mic check.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
Hey, this your brother Rodnetta, man. Peace, family. Unc Ujah Seneb. Yeah. We finna talk about these Stargates. I want everybody to tune in, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the bell icon so you can understand and see the prompt when I come down, man. We finna get busy. We finna talk about this science. Yeah. Stargates. While we vibe to this little track right here, you know what I'm saying? Before we get into this. You know, I'm just the type of person, man. I like to dibble and dab in all types of information. You know, I also, you know, I get into the ancient history, the anthropology, the archaeology, the linguistics, you know what I'm saying, the etymology, because, you know, you have to understand these things to hone in on what the facts are and what the truth is. You feel me? You got to understand these things, but one thing you have to understand and put things in perspective by way of which is chronology. You got to understand the chronology of history, you know. You got to. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, you know, we dealing with the imagery, you know what I'm saying, of the Stargate. You know, as you can see that the spacecraft is passing through the center of the Stargate. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into the technology, but you can also see the back image of the planet and what seems to be a light, which represents a Stargate, by way of which this spacecraft has passed through from one side to another into another planet's orbital field. See what I'm saying? Check it out. Yeah, man, this serious. It's serious business. You know, I like I say, I get into all the information, but we gonna deal with Stargates tonight, because Stargates have a ancient history with us. You know, we as black people, we gotta understand that our ancestors were highly involved in the high science of the universe. You see what I'm saying? The high science of the universe was understood to us. You know what I'm saying? We understood the galactic, if you would, to a degree to where we passed this information and this knowledge on to the world. We passed it to the Greeks. We passed it to the Persians. We passed it to the Samaritans, or we passed it to the Sumerians. You know, timeline, the European timeline or the Eurocentric timeline places Mesopotamia and Sumeria, to be more exact, before Kemet or before Alkebulan or before Africa, but that's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? You have a quote unquote 10,000 year dynastic period. No, let me correct myself. 25,000 years of dynastic rule. You see what I'm saying? Starting before the first dynasty that was documented with the King Narmer, who is said to have started the first dynasty. But what about the dynasties before then? You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about Terra Netter. You see what I'm saying? Terra Netter. You see? And this was a kingdom before the first dynastic documented kingdom that was found. I think that was on the there was a palette, the Norma palette. It's called the Norma palette. You know what I'm saying? Where his image is displayed, and it talks about his struggle with the Scorpion King. You see what I'm saying? All of this is ancient history, but there's history that goes before that. You see what I'm saying? In Taseti, which simply means the land of the boat. But even back then, we was dealing with high science and high technology. You know what I'm saying? But let's go and get into this Stargate, because we up late and we gotta get busy. But as you can see, the illustration shows. You see what I'm saying? The inspiration, of the Stargate and the way of which these craft pass through onto the other side. Now, if you understand anything about physics, if you're not a science geek and you understand science, but not to a great degree, but you understand when they illustrate it to you in the movies. You see what I'm saying? One of the movies in particular that I like, I forgot the actor's name. It'll come to mind. Matthew McConaughey. He played in what's the name of that movie? Interstellar, and it showed that he had been swallowed up by a black hole. He entered into a black hole, and he survived. You see what I'm saying? So that shows you the depth and how they conceal and hide what a black hole really is, because a black hole is seen and said to be a destroyer of worlds and a destroyer of universes. You see what I'm saying? A destroyer. It devours everything that, is absorbed or sucked in by it. And this is what we think about black holes. But we finna get into this because black holes have an affinity with wormholes. They're essentially the same thing. But what is the relationship to wormholes and black holes to Stargates? That's what we need to understand. If you go and you look at a movie by the name of Lost in Space, you will see, the illustration of what is called a hypergate, and they're going to talk to you or basically show the technology behind it. Well, I know a lot of people not into sci-fi, which simply means science fiction, but is it fiction? Because the Hegelian dialectic principle dictates that you make one think that a thing is fiction, but is actually for real. You know what I'm saying? So we need to understand that. But if you've seen that movie, if you've seen a movie called Event Horizon, these are movies by way of which they illustrate to us, the audience, how to move quickly in time and space. Why do you have to move quickly? Why is it so important to be able to move at the speed of light? See what I'm saying? Or close to the speed of light. Why is that important? Because your life depends on it. You know what I'm saying? Your life depends on it. Your existence. Because if you're trying to get to one solar system to a next, to one planet, you move slow. You got to move slow. You got to crawl before you walk. So you might be trying to get to the planet, but even that's a extreme distance. You feel me? That's an extreme distance. So you have to create or understand the universe to such a degree to where you can create science and or technologies that will be able to manipulate, put you in a position to where you can manipulate time and space. You know, this is where the scientists are. This is where they are. This is where we are. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we gonna get into this. My last video, if you guys went and got my direction when I directed y'all to come and follow along with me as I discuss the science and the technologies behind Stargates. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scientist, but I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna disseminate to you this information about where these technologies are. See what I'm saying? See, a long time ago, when I was in school, I was introduced to these technologies. You know, I went to see a collider. Excuse me. I went to see a collider. You know what I'm saying? And on this field trip, they described what the collider did. It was an accelerator. It accelerated particles. What particles? I didn't know at that time. But you know, as I where I am now, I understand. You know what I'm saying? They're atomic particles. To be more precise, protons. They choose protons because protons are larger in mass. You know what I'm saying? Protons have a positive charge. You know what I'm saying? So they're more effective. You know. And protons, you have to, well, not you have to. We're not going. I'm not going to start there, but they use protons for a specific reason. You know what I'm saying? So in any case, the technologies behind Stargates involve, you know what I'm saying, the manipulating of time and space by way of, you know, certain levels, certain types of technologies that harnessed the energies from the elements of the planet. See what I'm saying? And what you see here, what you're looking at, is a Stargate, and a technology or an apparatus that manipulates time and space to a degree to where spacecraft can pass through it. And it does it in a way, or gives them the ability to be able to come out alive on the other side. Because when you're trying to travel at those distances, you have to be able to manipulate, and mark my word, manipulate the fabric of time and space. Because if you don't do it, you've lost that knowledge. You don't have the ability to, you know, get to from point A to point B, and so trying to do so, you're gonna lose that knowledge and information, and that just puts you in a situation to where, you know, you, for one, you just got to try again, but two, you're behind another 20, 25 years, 35 years, you know what I'm saying, of science and research. That's how important this stuff is. You know what I'm saying? So we finna get ready to deal with the science and the technologies and what a Stargate or a black hole or a wormhole is created by. You see what I'm saying? You feel me? You know. So here in a second, man, we finna get right into this, man. We finna get right into this. All right, man, we back, man. Let's get into this. The Large Hadron Collider. Y'all might have never seen this before. You know what I'm saying? And this is just a piece of it. It's just a piece of it. See what I'm saying? This is just a piece of the Large Hadron Collider. You know what I'm saying? And if you see, it's arranged in a circular diameter or circumference, if you would, and these objects are magnets. They're magnets. See what I'm saying? Now this is a horizontal view of the Large Hadron Collider. You see what I'm saying? And what happens here, what the magnets do is accelerate. It's also called an accelerator, a particle accelerator. And it accelerates particles by way of light. You see what I'm saying? Energy. It abstracts the energy from elements, condense it, break it down to the protons and the electrons. It don't use the electrons, although it can. It may send electrons with it, but the main thing is to send the protons because they have more mass, which means they'll last longer and they won't burn up. See what I'm saying? And they send these beams of light, beams of energy in a circular motion at close to the speed of light, if not the speeds of light. They say close to. I'm going to say you got to duplicate the speed of light to do what you're trying to do, that people don't know that you're doing, that we talking about you doing tonight. See what I'm saying? So all of these here are magnets. And what the magnets do, they speed up that particle. You see what I'm saying? To be more direct, what particle is used? I know one thing. They use hydrogen, which is the first element. And essentially, or incidentally, all elements in the world consist of hydrogen. Just different condensations of it. See what I'm saying? Hydrogen is the base element, the number one element of all material matter. You see what I'm saying? So they use hydrogen, the proton, which is only one. Hydrogen only has one proton and one electron. It does not have a neutron, which makes it extremely unstable and yet stable at the same time. You see what I'm saying? But you have to have something to harness the energy to keep it stable. Otherwise, it's going to try to bond to create other substances. That's what hydrogen does. That's hydrogen's goal. You see what I'm saying? So hydrogen is the main element that they use at CERN. You see what I'm saying? In the Large Hadron Collider, and that's just the largest one. They have others. You know what I'm saying? And they're interconnected. You know, these sizes are used, and they're located all over the world, where the Large Hadron Collider is located in Switzerland, in France. I'm thinking 3 countries, and we're gonna get into that. But in any case, you know, this is part or a segment. You see what I'm saying? Imagery of the inside and the working components of the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, which is a particle accelerator. And it accelerates particles in a 360-degree angle and motion. To do what? That's what we headed to. See what I'm saying? This is a vertical image of the Large Hadron Collider. As you can see, you have a technician right here. He's, you know, paying attention and just kind of monitoring and looking at what's going on. But as you can see, these are the magnets right here. There are all different kinds of magnets. You have large magnets. You have small magnets. See what I'm saying? And these magnets, like I say again, they accelerate and direct and guide those beams of light, those protons, those particles in 2 different directions. One travels in one direction and one travels in another direction, and they collide in the center, releasing massive amounts of energy, power, you understand, in order to achieve what? We talking about Stargates. And let's just get into this. See, a lot of people, a lot of scientists don't want this technology to be used. You know what I'm saying? They've even found the building block of all power, all structure, and they named it after a guy whose last name is Boson. You know what I'm saying? It's called the Higgs boson, which is actually basically some energy that cannot be detected unless it's the byproduct of an expression of energy. That's the only way you can detect it, and it is found to be the building block and the essence of all energy and power. That sounds like Amen or Amun, but we're not gonna get into that. But they say they discovered this with this particle accelerator that is created at CERN, which is an acronym for the Center of European Nuclear Research. Look it up, CERN. This is their most prized component, most powerful form of technology. You see what I'm saying? But ain't nothing new under the sun now. There is nothing new under the sun. There is one of these out there that was before this one. But in any case, okay, these are the magnets that accelerate and guide and direct, you know, this beam of light, or these protons that they're accelerating, these particles that they're accelerating. Okay, what you see right here, this is an illustration of the inner workings and the wiring. See what I'm saying? This right here is copper wire, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a different kind of wire, but I know that this is the whatever metal that conducts light energy, which is electricity. Light energy is electricity. You have to convert light energy to its lesser form, which would be electricity. Light is faster than electricity. And we need this energy to move fast. You see what I'm saying? We need it to move fast. So, this is the inner workings. This is the inner illustration. You see what I'm saying? And what they do, like I said before, in order to speed up this electricity, which is the lesser form of light, the magnets get it up to close to the speed of light. And when these particular particles crash into each other, going in a separate direction, they release energy. Now, mind you, they have to do this. And when they do this, they have to do this and create a vacuum or space-like or space, a space-like atmosphere. See what I'm saying? Which means it has to be the temperature of space in order to absorb the level of heat that is going to be emitted by this device. And by the way, this device at its largest scale is 27 kilometers. That's about 17 miles. Remember what I said, man. It's about 17 miles. You see what I'm saying? Of what you see right here underground, about 100 meters underground, which is a quarter of a mile. No, it's a quarter. 100 meters is a quarter of one lap around a track. See what I'm saying? One straightaway. That's how deep this is underground. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, the energy that is released, or the heat that is released, has to be absorbed the way the vacuum in space absorbs the heat from all of the stars. This is why, you would think that because of the sun and all of the stars that are in the solar system, that are in the galaxy, that are in the universe, you know what I'm saying, the universe would be hot from the heat of the stars. But no. That empty space absorbs that heat at such a rate, if you were there, you would freeze. You see what I'm saying? So you have to create these conditions so they have a way to which they use, I think it's, some, not nitrogen, something colder than nitrogen, to create this temperature, to absorb this heat and this energy. But they disperse that energy in a different direction in order to say, I'm giving y'all too much too fast, but in order to rip a hole in time and space. See what I'm saying? To create the wormhole, aka the black hole, aka the Stargate. All right, so let's keep going, man. Here's another diagram. And let me tell you something. There are three of these things. You got Alice, and you got Atlas, and then you got the LHC. You see what I'm saying? And they're illustrated by by the particles, but they're also illustrated by the trajectory. You see what I'm saying? And what you see here, it starts, every loop here is an accelerator. Every loop is a particle accelerator. Every loop represents a Stargate. Every loop is guided to a specific point in time and space. Every loop can bring in a spacecraft. Not just the LHC. Those are for large craft. Those are for large craft. See, man, listen, let me tell you something. Science is so spectacular, man. Science, we believe. That's what we do. We black people just, we want to believe anything but everything. We don't want to know shit. You understand me? Those days is over. This is the age of Aquarius. And we finna see how the age of Aquarius corresponds and relates to the LHC and the large pyramid. The pyramid, or the Great Pyramid, the Pyramid of Khufu. Okay, so you see the diagram. You have the particle accelerators. They're going in a 360-degree angle around these loops, right? And they're sending charged particles. You see? They're sending it up to and including close to the speed of light. Particles like protons. You see what I'm saying? And they're using magnets to do so, to speed up the process. And the way you do that, you can bust open your remote and control car and look at the motor and see copper wire wrapped around magnets to create an electromagnetic scale and spectrum, or power source in order to propel. So basically what you're doing, you're propelling raw energy. You see what I'm saying? And then you're harnessing that energy and using it to open up your reality, the fabric, the womb of the world. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no way out of here, man. This is a closed what do they call it? System. You don't get out of this just punching a hole. Well, you do punch a hole, but you don't just fly out of here. You know what I'm saying? The atmosphere is extremely secure. And you have to create a wormhole in the direction of the not of the wormhole, but in the direction of the orbit in order to get up out of here. And there are other elements that have to, be present, like water, H2O. See what I'm saying? Technologically, you gotta have water, moisture. Biologically, you have to have material matter and flesh, and you separate the spirit from the body, and you cross over and through a black hole or a wormhole. So, but I'm getting that's for another time. You feel me? All right, so what's going to be passing through these circuits in two directions are particles, charged particles, molecular particles, protons, at massive speeds and clashing into each other in order to create a controlled energetic space by which human beings can travel technologically to spare their flesh. And when those particles collide, they disperse massive amounts of energy. Massive amounts of energy. Harnessed energy on different scales at different circumferences. Listen, man, this shit gets so damn deep. And we trying to find out who we came from, what the, and this and that and that and this, man. You know, it's a reason that, you know, white folks call black folk monkeys and all this. We don't think we have any affinity to the hominids on this planet. You're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. But that's for another time. I'm just trying to give y'all some a few pros. You know what I'm saying? And criticize the pros with the cons. You know what I'm saying? And try to see what's really going on. You know? I've been watching sci-fi movies for a long time, and I say, look, hold up, man. Where are they getting all this shit from, man? This shit, you know, hypothetically, mathematically, you know what I'm saying? You know, hey. But anyway, and in any case, as you can see, the two protons coming from two different directions and clashing at a midpoint, dispersing massive amounts of energy. See what I'm saying? That are controlled. See what I'm saying? That's harnessed and guided and directed to do a specific job. You see what I'm saying? It does a specific job. Yeah, and they taking note. They gathering information, and that's what they tell us. You know, the LHC. You know, we're the particle accelerator. We're finding out that, you know, incidentally, this is what got your power, and, you know, the internet interconnected and all this type of stuff. You can view and talk and blog and all that. That's the LHC, man. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, you know, all of this data that they're taking. Oh, we're learning this. We're learning how to do that. But they ain't telling you what the hell they doing. What the base reason for this device, man. Why? What? You know what I'm saying? You got this guy named Norman Burgum, who wrote the book Rings of Saturn. See what I'm saying? And why they're there and all of this. You know, then you got the movie Lord of the Rings. What's up with these rings? What you know what I'm saying? What's up with the rings? And the rings is making people pass through and all this old kind of, and everybody going and things and this and, you know, I'm looking, I'm like, damn, you know, this got to, you know, it got to be more to it than this. And I'm looking at the science. I'm like, damn. And this is the age of Aquarius. And I'm like, hold up. It's all coming clear now. All right. So look, this is the LHC is situated and located in Europe. CERN is an acronym for the Center of European Nuclear Research. See what I'm saying? There's the LHC. So it seems that this diagram is they're about to make one much larger than that. Now, hey, you know, here's France, here's Switzerland. That's 2 countries. I told y'all this thing fills up 2 to 3 countries. This is by way. Listen. Do you see this? Right? This dictates the size and the amount of spacecraft that can enter in at this point and at this juncture, at this longitude and latitude, and come down. See what I'm saying? Into this realm. Listen. We finna get into how it works. I don't want to hear nothing. Listen, if you got something, you know, it's block. Say something. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think, man. I'm telling you what I've researched, and I'm telling you, you know, what the situation is. Do you really know about Khufu, Khafra, and Menkora? You know what I'm saying? Why is the pyramid amongst the blacks? You know what I'm saying? You know, we believe everything else. We believe, you know, God, the bust, you know, the sun gonna, hey, listen. This is the truth right here. This is a closed system, and this is the way out. And this is what the European is involved in. You know, not saying that at this particular time, we was already doing this, and this is what I'm finna show y'all. This is what I'm finna correlate. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. Technologies evolve, and you do the same thing in different ways. And that's what you see right here. As a matter of fact, here is the circumference, you know what I'm saying? The LHC underground. This is where it is. This is the diagram in the aerial picture of where this thing is and where it is situated. This is what it looks like when it goes underground. See what I'm saying? Right? This is a small imagery, but it's much larger than that. I showed y'all what it looked like. I showed you what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? It does more than just send particles and beams. It actually creates a wormhole, a black hole. It opens up time and space. Just let me tell you something. Just like a child has to break its mother's water in order to be birthed into this realm, you can only come in through this realm by water. If you come through the sky, you're coming through the moisture. You can also come through the ocean. The ocean has crystals in it, which make it a extremely great semiconductor of electromagnetic energy. Where are the crystals? The crystal is in the bedrock, and the crystal is in the salt particle. This is why you have so many stories about people seeing spacecraft come out of the ocean, seemingly to open up portals, opening up, and they just come out of the ocean as if they are dry. Come on, man. They showing you these things in movies. See what I'm saying? They showing it to you. But you know, you're so entertained, and you know that's not real. All right, it ain't real. It ain't real. This is an excerpt from the movie Stargate. Look at it. It looks so prehistoric. It looks so prehistoric right here. But I just showed you the science behind it. This is the prehistoric image of what the technology that you see today in this day and time. See what I'm saying? They got it up, you know. They're just showing you, but it was back during those times too. They had one in stone. And we finna see it. You see? Look at this. Look at the water. Water don't stand up like that. What is he, under the ocean? No, he ain't under the ocean. He ain't in the sea. Then sometimes they are. Feel what I'm saying? And these technologies are built in areas where the electromagnetism is great at a high degree in these areas in order to harness the energy that the planet needs in order to be able to power these technologies. Because you need more than just a plug. See what I'm saying? Here's a guy about to pass through or passing on the other side, which shows you that not only can technology go through, like spacecraft, but human beings, flesh and blood, can walk through. You can open a portal and walk through with this device. Y'all seen Stargate. You just don't think it's real. I done showed you the technology behind it. Remember the movie Independence Day? You remember when the spacecraft came into this atmosphere and came into this world and began to wreak havoc and all that? That's the narrative. That's the smoke screen. But they're really trying to show you the technology of what's going on. If they got the inspiration for it and they show it to you, that means they've already reverse engineered the product. Hello, Roswell. Look at it. Entering into the atmosphere. Look at the circular circumference. Don't it look like it's about the size of the Large Hadron Collider? Or the one smaller than that? Round disc-like objects. See what I'm saying? Disc-like objects. Unidentified flying objects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's real. It's real. Check it out. Why is the fire there? Because it's breaking the atmosphere. That's electromagnetism. That's what you call friction. Friction, man. You know? The pyramids had granite in it. Granite, which has quartz crystal in it. See what I'm saying? Extremely conductive. What does the granite do? The granite operates like magnetism. And it guides and directs the light energy. It guides the energy of the sun. Why? Because it's organic. And they chose to use granite stone. Those 70-ton granite blocks that are used on the inside of the pyramid. Let's check out this video real quick, man. This right here is quartz crystal. This is copper wire. Copper wire has been found in the shafts of the Great Pyramid. What you need all that for if it's a tomb?
I have the on-off switch right here that so I can shut it on and off. I'm gonna try it again. Here we go. Okay.
You see it? Fire is a derivative of light. It's a condensed form of light. Sunlight. See what I'm saying? They're sending electricity through this copper coil and using the quartz crystal to conduct electricity and speed up the protons of the quartz crystal. Say, man, you got a transference of energy using quartz. quartz crystal. You see it? I ain't making this shit up, man. I ain't making this shit up. Attempt to conduct high voltage through quartz crystal. They're elevating the voltage using quartz crystal. See what I'm saying? Check this out.
Sure, we all love gemstones that are visually stunning, but the ones that have...
Check this out, man. Check this video out right here.
The Great Pyramid is situated within a whisker of...
Now, we're talking about the Great Pyramid right here. The Great Pyramid is saturated with quartz crystal. Saturated. But not only that, the pyramid is situated in such a place to where it's harnessing the energy of the planet, which simply means the people who built it are harnessing the energy of the planet. Where is the pyramid? It's in Africa. It's in Africa. African people built it. No aliens. I'm not saying they didn't have nothing to do with none of the information, but I'm saying that they didn't build it. It's proven that they can't even survive in the atmosphere without apparatuses. You know, you got aliens that were found crashed at Roswell. Plenty excerpts on that. So go do your research, man. We talking about this pyramid and this Stargate, and I'm gonna just tell you, the pyramid is an ancient Stargate. That's what it is, and it's situated right here where the scientist is finna say it's situated, and we're gonna get into the information about it.
Latitude 30. It seems like the latitude choice was derived from astronomy. Because there's a lens effect of the atmosphere of the Earth, and when you take that into account, the tiny error shy of latitude 30 goes away. They were on astronomical latitude 30, if you like. Seems like a very deliberate choice, because it's not a random latitude.
The scientist is saying, or the mathematician is saying, I don't know what this brother's expertise is, but he's pretty smart, and I think he got some expertise and some credentials to back it. He's saying that the pyramid is placed in the position strategically.
It's 1/3 of the way between the equator and the North Pole. This is just one of the many ways, I feel, in which the Great Pyramid deliberately and purposively speaks to our planet. The next way it does that is that it is aligned. That if you take upon yourself the project of building a pyramid and aligning it to true north, south, east, and west, you wouldn't make any error at all. There is an error in the Great Pyramid. It's tiny. It's 3/60ths.
But is it an error?
Degree off true north. This is almost...
Isn't an error. We gonna find, and I'm gonna show you where why I feel like this is not an error. This is strategically offset, and it does that in order to show that human beings have to stay in tune with nature, and nature is always evolving. So you can't make something definite or indefinite and then leave it that way, even though, you know, time is time, numbers are numbers. Those things are indefinite, but you never know where one is going to land.
Eerie precision, because the scale of the monument is so huge. This thing is 481 feet high. It has a footprint of slightly more than 13 acres. It weighs 6 million tons. It consists of 2.5 million individual blocks of stone. You're taking that whole gigantic mountain of stone and you are aligning it within just 3/60ths of a single degree of true north. We're not talking about magnetic north, which varies. We're talking about astronomical north, the true north of this planet. It's a very remarkable thing, and that's the north of this planet. Once again, the Great Pyramid is speaking to the Earth.
the Great Pyramid is speaking to the earth. It's situated on true north, not magnetic north, because like he said, that can change. True north, which is going to be north all the time. Why would they build such a structure like that in the way and place it in the position that they placed it in? And if it only had something to do with somebody leaving their remains there. Come on, man. This is the age of Aquarius. We got to be smarter than this, man. And the information is here. The information is here. Nah, we finna get deeper though, real quick. We finna get deeper though. You know, this is the situation of the pyramid. This is where they situated it. This is where they placed it on purpose, man.
Could the pyramid be revealing something else about our planet?
Then you find something else as you go deeper. Start measuring the Great Pyramid. Measure it very, very, very precisely. Measure its base perimeter. And then measure its height.
Base perimeter and height.
Scale those numbers up. What you find is that at a scale of 1 to 43,200, and I'll explain why that's not a random scale in a moment.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 43,200, the dimensions of the pyramid give you the dimensions of this planet.
What?
In other words...
Hold up. The dimensions of the pyramid give you the dimensions of the planet. Hold up. What does that mean? What does that mean? Somebody tell me. But put that down in the comment section, man. I can tell you what I think it means, but I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, the pyramid is giving you the dimensions of the planet. The dimensions. Are you saying it's telling you what the planet is shaped like, or it's telling you what the planet is? I don't know, man. Rock with me. Tell me.
If you measure the base perimeter of the Great Pyramid and multiply it by 43,200, you get the equatorial circumference of the Earth. And if you measure the height of the Great Pyramid and multiply it by 43,200, you get the polar radius of the Earth. So in all those centuries and millennia, when our ancestors went through the Dark Ages and didn't even know that they were living on a planet, let alone the dimensions of the planet, all they ever had to do was go accurately measure the Great Pyramid.
Okay.
Multiply those numbers by 43,200, and they have the dimensions of our planet.
So if they got the dimensions of the planet, you know what I'm saying, by having this number, this variable, 43,200, you know what I'm saying, and multiplying that by certain numbers and getting the polar radius in the what is that, the latitude of the planet. I mean, you know, yeah, that's extreme precision. So if like I'm saying, the pyramid is a Stargate, you would have to be precise, because you don't want your spacecraft and or your soul or whatever to go somewhere that it's not supposed to go. So you got to be precise, right? That's what it seemed like is going on. This is why our ancestors had created these monumental forms of technology, not just structures, technologies with such precision.
Could this be the evidence to suggest that ancient places like the Great Pyramid are here to always show us our place in the stars?
Egyptologists are aware of this, but they say it's a total coincidence. There's no significance to it whatsoever.
They
as far as
lying.
Egyptologists are concerned. And you know, if the scale were something different, if it were 1 to 57,000 or 1 to 42,000 even, they could be right. The reason they're not right is that the scale is not random.
It ain't random.
The scale is defined by a key motion of the Earth itself.
The results strongly support that these beings are not closely related to any known organism.
Bear with me.
Our Earth, as well as spinning on its own axis, has a wobble on its axis. That's called precession. Rather the effect that you get if you set a spinning top spinning. As it begins to slow down, it begins to wobble, and the top of the top begins to transcribe a circle. The Earth does that.
Watch this now.
If you take the extended north pole of the Earth and extend it out into the heavens, you'll find that today in our time, it's pointing at a star we call Polaris. That's our pole star. But it
All of
hasn't
this is
always pointed at
extremely
Polaris.
important to make
It
this
won't always
claim
point at
about
Polaris
this
in the
Stargate.
future. Sometimes it'll point at empty space. Sometimes it pointed and will point at other stars. There was a time when Thuban in Draco was the pole star. That's because of the precessional wobble on the Earth's axis. The extended north pole of the Earth isn't always pointing at the same place. Over a cycle of 25,920 years, it's doing that. That's why the pole star changes.
Understand this,
At
man.
the same time, on the horizon, and we know that ancient cultures had a great interest in particular moments of the year, particularly the equinoxes, when night and day are of equal length. It was an obsession of ancient cultures. What was the constellation that lay in the place on the horizon where the sun rose on the spring equinox? What was the constellation that housed the sun? This is familiar language in astrology. What's the constellation that housed the sun on the spring equinox? In our epoch, it's the constellation of Pisces. We live in the age of Pisces, near the end of it, as a matter of fact. It's not an accident that the early Christians used the fish as their symbol, because Christianity began at very near the beginning of the age of Pisces. Each one of these zodiacal ages lasts for 2,160 years. And then the sun transits out of, on the equinox, transits out of one constellation and into another. So we indeed do live in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Because of the precessional motion of the Earth, because of this change, this wobble on the Earth's axis, the constellation that houses the sun on the equinox is shifting out of Pisces and into Aquarius. That shift will be complete within the next 100 or 150 years. What we have here is a process that operates at the rate of 1 degree every 72 years.
Okay.
We allocate 30 degrees to each of the 12 constellations of the zodiac. Multiply 72 by 30 and you get 2,160. That's a zodiacal age. Take the whole cycle of the zodiac, the whole 12 constellations, each with 2,160 years housing the sun on the spring equinox, and you get what the ancients called the Great Year, when everything cycles back to the beginning and the whole process starts again. Do you follow? That's 25,920 years.
Rounded out
The
26,000
heartbeat
years.
is 1 degree every 72 years. It is defined by a key motion of our planet. That number, 43,200, is a multiple of 72. It's directly related to that number. And it's not as though we're confined to Giza and the Great Pyramid. Those numbers are found all over the world. They're found in ancient mythology. Osiris, after all, was killed by Set and his 72 conspirators. The number occurs in the
So
ancient
the
Egyptian
ancestors
text. It
already
occurs in the number of
understood
syllables
this
in the Rig
astronomical
Veda.
science.
In India, it occurs in Norse mythology. It's found all around the world. There's an intense focus on this system of numbers. So it can't be an accident that the same system of numbers crops up in the Great Pyramid, and that not only does the Great Pyramid give us the dimensions of the Earth, but that it does so on a scale defined by the Earth itself. That's an incredibly clever piece of work.
So that you can be spot on when you travel. That's what that is. When these people got ready to move and travel outside of this outside of this planetary realm, or come into this one or go into another, they had to have these trajectories spot on. And this is why these calculations are relevant. This is why these calculations were already known. This is why you can find these numbers in the Bible. 2,160 days in the book of Daniel. Times and a half of times and all these different things. Just speaking of this stuff has already been understood. And we already know that the Bible comes straight out of Kemet. We were the Chaldeans in Mesopotamia. You see what I'm saying? The astronomers in Kemet. We understood the trajectory of the sun and the moon and the stars. And not only that, you know, we knew much more. We knew much more.
One of the things that's been brought to astronomers' attention is that they noticed that the pyramid of Khufu and Khafra, if you notice right here, are in a perfect alignment. Okay? It's a perfect alignment. But the question is that why would such a perfect alignment and perfect structure would they build the small pyramid of Menkaure off course? Can you see it off course? Yeah. But what they found though is
that's that off course that he was talking, that the scientist was talking about, was talking about being 3/60 of a degree off of true north. This is why the pyramid of Menkaure is off course. See what I'm saying? All of this stuff is done. It's not done by chance. It's done by precision, man.
our ancestors were building the pyramids in alignment with the stars. That they were in rhythm with the astrology and the astronomical science of the universe, science of astrology, or the study of the stars. And what they found is that the star system Orion was the star system of Osiris. Remember, the king wants to become one with Osiris. So by aligning the pyramid of Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure with Orion, and that's why they built the pyramid of Menkaure slightly over and not in alignment, because the pyramids were built off of the alignment of the star system Orion. The star system Ceres was Isis. So our ancestors, in essence, were building heaven on earth. They were taking the science of the stars and building the pyramids exactly as they saw the heavenly body or the cosmological universe. Figure out why.
Listen, man. Listen. Y'all saw the diagram. You saw it. You see what I'm saying? Our ancestors knew the distance between the stars, man. They knew the distance between the stars. This is why they were able to build the pyramids in alignment with the star system Orion. You see what I'm saying? Look here, man. It's not a coincidence that they illustrate these things. It's not a coincidence that people draw the Stargate with the pyramid. It's not a coincidence. Let me show you something else. It's not a coincidence that the movie Stargate has the pyramid in it. It's not a coincidence. Our ancestors were already into this science and technology before the European got his hands on it. That's just facts. That's not racism. That's facts. Feel what I'm saying? So stop playing, man. The pyramid is not a tomb. That's a smoke screen. The pyramid has been destroyed and degraded. You know what I'm saying? Demolished, stripped of all its functional technologies that were designed to make this masterpiece operational. And it still has left its blueprint. It's still electromagnetic. They still feel energy coming from the source. You know what I'm saying? You know, we sit back and we look over this information. A lot of times we're not even prone to look into this information, and we're staying in la la land, and we're believing what is being propagated to us. Even some of our scholars are not saying what this monument really is, which would elevate our knowledge. You see what I'm saying? And our inspiration, it'll elevate our actions to know the truth. Excuse me, man. You know, and it's deeper than that. How do the Stargates work? They bend and they fold time and space. That's what they do. That's how they make the trip between spaces short. You have to have two devices. You have to have one where you're going, where you're leaving from, and one where you're going, and it brings those 2 points together in time when the devices are activated. And when they come together, it creates a hole, which is a loop hole that you, in any object that you are in, can pass. You know what I'm saying? I can illustrate this to y'all. I can show y'all this, man, but I'm trying to tell you. This is what this is. This is what this is. When you see it, that's what you've seen. That's what you've seen. The Stargate. These are illustrations in the movie. This is the actual science behind it. This is the science behind it. Down, up, and in comes craft. See? See? A craft this size may come, and a craft this size. A wheel within the wheel. See what I'm saying? Even the woman's egg is a circle, a wheel. Yeah, man. Make no mistake about it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. You know what I'm saying? See when I come down. You know? And we gonna keep this thing going, man. We gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get the people the technology. We gonna get the people the information and the understanding that is not being spoke about. You know what I'm saying? On what's really going on. Why they want to depopulate the planet. Why they want to depopulate us. Why they want to eradicate us. You know what I'm saying? Why do they want, why are they trying to have sustainable resources? How will they sustain the resources? To what end? You know what I'm saying? To what feet? So, like I said, hit the bell icon to see why I come down again, man. This your brother Rodnetta. You know what I'm saying? And you been at Vic Knowledge 101. Peace, family.